I'm here to rule on the defendant's motion for new trial, and the amended motion for new trial, which was filed by the defense, as counsel had indicated, did not raise any new grounds for relief, but merely provided additional case law in support of the motion, in support of the issues that were raised. This court held a hearing last Thursday where both parties outlined all arguments made and provided additional case law in support of their respective positions. Parties were also permitted to file any additional pleadings by close of business Friday, December 9th, to which Mr. Eisenstein, on behalf of Mr. Lyle, did file an additional memorandum of law in support of the motion. This court has carefully reviewed all of the pleadings, exhibits, and applicable law. I've also reviewed my trial notes, the instructions given to the jury. I've considered all of the evidence that was presented during the trial. While defense raises numerous issues for the granting of relief, the court specifically focused on the questions of unduly restricting the defense's closing arguments based upon further evidentiary rulings that the court made during the course of the trial. And I am been on mute that whole time.
Yep.
Excellent. So we're going to not rewind all that because I forgot what I said already. In any event, I'm ruling here on the defendant's motion for new trial. Defense, interestingly, cites a couple of cases which I read in some detail. The Aiken case, which has some negative treatment, but not on these issues, as well as the Tipton case from the Florida Supreme Court. And again, focusing on the defense main issues, the court unduly restricting its closing argument, which was the result of the court not allowing certain information to be presented to the jury that the court did not believe rose to the level of proper admissible evidence. Mr. Lyle's statement was introduced into evidence for the jury to consider, and that statement was introduced in its entirety. The court also reviewed the cases, and as I just mentioned, and in Tipton, which was quite interesting, unlike our case, in Tipton, the court failed to address the excusable homicide point that has been made by the defense in their motion for new trial. And that was a significant distinguishing factor between our case and Tipton, because the court did properly instruct the jury in our case on both justifiable and excusable homicide. Also, in addressing whether or not this is a case like the Tipton case or the Aiken case, where there was a claim of a mutual combat, figuratively, what happened in Aiken, which was again quite interesting, what occurred was a battle of vituperation, and I had to look that word up because it was a new word for me. And vituperation means bitter and abusive language. And in our case, it appears, and from the evidence that was presented, there was a battle, a combat of bitter and abusive language. However, unlike Tipton, what transpired from that vituperation or mutual combat was quite different. And in our case, it went beyond mere bitter and abusive language to the point where any combat was not mutual. And in our case, the actions by Mr. Lyle, given the totality of the circumstances, the court does not find were justifiable. For those reasons, and again, after carefully reviewing all of the issues raised, taken individually or cumulatively, the court does not believe that the claims raised by the defense support the granting of a new trial. As such, it is hereby ordered that a judge that the defendant's motion for new trial is hereby denied, done and ordered today in open court, and the court signed the order denying the motion. The next matter